Hello, Henry here, and welcome to Xbox On. The biggest Xbox event of the year has taken place, the Xbox Games Showcase. This was our first look at a ton of Xbox Series X games, and we could not be more excited. Head of Xbox Game Studios Matt Booty confirmed that Series X is going to launch with a lineup of over 100 games, and during the show we got a look at what feels like a pretty good chunk of them. Like, seriously, too many games to cover here in this one video, so make sure you're subscribed to the Xbox On channel for our full coverage. Now, today, Bex and I are going to be focusing on the Xbox Game Studios titles that we laid our eyes on for the very first time, including 5 new reveals and updates on some of our most anticipated games. And because these are first-party games, that means that Xbox Game Pass members will be able to play every single one of them on day one, either as part of their subscription or because they're free to play. Now, shall we take a look at some brand new games?
Let's start where the showcase did, with Halo Infinite. We've got a 10-minute gameplay deep dive, and oh man, does it look good. All the stuff that has always made Halo great was present and correct. The assault rifle, the Covenant, the Warthog, the choir music, and the gorgeous scenery. Oh, plus an all-new grappling hook that lets you grab stuff, close in on enemies to deliver a melee smash to the face, or zip around the world to your heart's content. And you'll need it because Infinite's campaign takes place on an open world Halo ring that's bigger than the last 2 Halo games combined. Our first glimpse of multiplayer is yet to come, but basically this demo made a nice, clear promise. Infinite will be the largest and most ambitious Halo game ever created. Bigger battles, epicer vistas, and all in 60 FPS for action as smooth as a ghost bonnet.
That wasn't the only Xbox heavy hitter to make a showing. We also got a glimpse of Turn 10's new Forza Motorsport, which is early in development but already looks gorgeous, with an amped up version of the Forza Tech engine running in 4K 60 FPS with ray tracing for some very shiny cars indeed. And note the lack of number at the end there. Motorsport looks like it could be giving this brilliant racing series a bit of a reboot, or a re-trunk I suppose for our American viewers.
And from speedy motors to shambling corpses now, with a short but oh so sweet cinematic trailer for State of Decay 3. Well, I say sweet, but that sort of depends on your taste for gobbled up wolves and zombified deer. I mean, I guess that could be a squeeze of Raspberry Ripple in the snow there. Yeah, probably is.
We love a good sequel, and that's 3 very good ones. But what about a brand new IP? Well, how does the idea of Obsidian doing a fantasy epic RPG sound? Pretty good, right? The announcement trailer for Avowed introduced Aora, a big old fantasy kingdom of skeleton warriors, magic sigils, and monsters in the deep. And one that's been built from the ground up to take full advantage of all the power of Xbox Series X. So basically, the stuff gaming dreams are made of, and this isn't the last you'll be hearing of Obsidian in this video either.
One of the great things about Xbox Game Studios is that on top of the 15 studios that sit under its umbrella, it also publishes great games from independent developers. Like, for example, Interior Night, a London-based studio with an all-star lineup of developers. The studio's first game is As Dusk Falls, an interactive drama with a unique art style that looks like paintings have come to life. It's a true saga, telling the story of 2 families whose lives collide one fateful day in the Arizona desert, and how it ripples out to affect them all across 3 decades.
Okay, we can't wait any longer. There are plenty more games to get into, but we need to talk about how the showcase ended, with the reveal of a game we've all had our fingers crossed for. The unmistakable tones of Stephen Fry doing the voiceover, a fantasy world that's equal parts grounded, magical and funny. What else could it be but a brand new Fable? This new beginning for the RPG series is coming from Forza Horizon developers Playground Games, launching on Xbox Series X and Windows 10. And best of all, it'll have the honour of being the first Fable game ever to launch straight into Xbox Game Pass right from day one.
Okay, so those are our 5 big reveals we knew nothing about until last night, and one we'd been teased for a short while. But the showcase also gave us a chance to catch up on the games we're already hyped for, with brand new footage, release date reveals, and more. Including one title we've been desperate to see more of since it was teased at XO19 last year. the latest game from Sea of Thieves developers Rare, Everwild. The game is still a little mysterious, which actually suits its enigmatic world pretty well. But this new trailer showed off more of the incredible creatures you'll be interacting with. From fairy-tailed walrus majigs big enough to pull trees out of the ground to tiny deer that need protecting, which is where you come in, playing as a magic-wielding Eternal. We can't wait to see more.
And speaking of long-awaited games, we also got a good long look at Psychonauts 2, a sequel that's been 15 years in the making. Raz is back, and once again hopping between brains in a quest to discover the secrets of his own family's origins. Oh, and Jack Black is there too, playing a mote of light and whipping out his Tenacious D skills to treat us to a song. Basically, it looks trippy as hell, which is exactly what we all want from a Psychonauts game.
We also had our first look at the single-player campaign of CrossFireX. This competitive shooter series has a good claim at being the most played game in the entire world, with over 1 billion players, mostly in China and Korea. And it's ready to make the jump to Western audiences and to consoles for the first time, with a huge free-to-play multiplayer coming to Xbox later this year. You might have played the multiplayer beta last month, but the campaign is totally its own thing, being developed by none other than Remedy Studios, the masterminds behind Max Payne, Alan Wake, and Control. And the trailer suggests it's going to be just the kind of massive action blockbuster you'd hope for from that combination.
Or if you prefer something a little less bombastic, we also got a look at Tell Me Why, the new narrative game from Don't Nod. They're the studio behind Life is Strange, and it looks like this is going to have that same mix of relatable human drama and supernatural spookiness as you play a pair of supernaturally linked twins returning to their hometown. And it's also making history with the first openly trans playable character in a game of this size. If that's got you intrigued, look out for the first chapter when it hits Game Pass on the 27th of August, with the next 2 episodes following weekly.
And finally, a double whammy from those very busy bees at Obsidian Entertainment, including something you can look forward to very soon. Grounded, their new co-op survival game that's coming to Xbox Game Preview on the 28th of July. We can't wait to play it both on our Xbox One consoles plus our PC specialist computers. And who else loved the nod to Cyberpunk as much as we did?
If you're waiting for the biggest game of the year, then wait for Cyberpunk.
Gotta love some dev-to-dev jokes, and personally, I think the world needs more of it.
And then in September, there's also Peril on Gorgon, the first DLC expansion for the Outer Worlds. On top of new weapons, gear, character perks, and floors, the highlight is an all-new noir-tinged adventure that lets you play detective on the Gorgon asteroid as you uncover the mysterious origins of Adrena Time. The base game is on Xbox Game Pass, so if you haven't played Outer Worlds yet, get on it! And your membership will also get you a 10% discount on Peril on Gorgon when it arrives on the 9th of September.
So there you have an amazingly diverse selection of games that'll be lighting up your Xbox in the months and years to come. And one of the coolest things about upgrading to the Xbox Series X is that some of our very favourite games from the current gen are going to be Xbox Series X optimized, meaning they've had a next gen upgrade so they look and play even better. Games like, for example, Gears 5, Sea of Thieves, and Forza Horizon 4. But possibly the prettiest of them all is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. As if it didn't look good already, the whole game has been overhauled to run at 4K and 120 FPS. Let me say that one more time. 4K and 120 frames per second, with lower input latency to ensure the platforming is just as crisp and precise as the visuals. And of course, these are all smart delivery titles, so if you already own the Xbox One versions, you'll get it on the Series X completely free. It's a pretty great way of making sure you've got a big library of games to choose from when the next gen arrives, right from day one.
So, what did you think of this look into the Xbox gaming crystal ball? Which game surprised you, and which are you most hyped for? Okay, except for Halo Infinite, which one are you most hyped for? Let us know down in the comments. And one last time, remember, all of these games are coming to Xbox Game Pass day and date. For all you need to know on Xbox Game Pass, Xbox Series X, and everything Xbox, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye!